my name is Nasrin and I do electrical and electronic engineering and I stay at Claycroft. So personally, I like the fact that I only share one bathroom with another person, and it's also a deal breaker that it's the closest accommodation to the superstore, which includes Tesco and Aldi. And it's also really close to the central campus where I have my department buildings. Yeah. Okay, so it's the fact that we have this fire drill every Wednesday and it is really noisy. It doesn't stop. Other than that, I feel like my accommodation is fine. I mean, it depends on what kind of people you share your flat with, because they can be either really untidy with their, kitchen and stuff. Yeah. I share a flat with 5 people. Ideally, it should be 6, but I don't know where the other person went. So we also share the same kitchen with them. And talking about cupboard space, I think there are plenty of spaces for us to use. I mean, I personally use 3 to 4 cupboard spaces, and there's also one fridge and a freezer, and I think each person gets 1 or 2 cabinets to fill in their food with. So I shared the toilet with just one other person, so we have a bathtub, so it's kind of like an ensuite, but for ensuite people, they only have a shower. So I feel like that's an added advantage. So I think every week the cleaning lady comes around and cleans our bathroom. So I feel like we don't have to do any of the work. They just keep it clean. So I actually do my laundry in the same block. It's actually just a minute walk away from here. I think it costs around £4 to £5 if you consider doing the drying after the washing. Yeah. So my classes are mostly located in the central campus, so it only takes around 5 to 10 minutes to get to my lectures and seminars. So when I was choosing my accommodation, I personally made a pros and cons list for each accommodation, and then I just weighed out what I liked and what I didn't like, and in the end I just found that Claycroft suited me the most. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chin Hao. I'm studying economics and I live in Tocil. So there are 3 good things for my accommodation. First is that it's very convenient. So if you want to go to Tesco, it's just a 10 minutes walk. Alternatively, you can go to Roots grocery store, which is just a 5 minutes walk from here. But Roots grocery has more expensive items. Another thing will be that there's Tocil Woods nearby, so if you ever study until you're very saturated, you can go for a run. And last thing will be that it's very affordable, so for those of you who have more cost concerns, you can consider Tocil, because it's only I think £104 per week. 114. So one thing that I terribly dislike about my accommodation is that there were mushrooms growing out from the toilet. So I don't know whether is it because of the moisture or because of the building is old, but there will always be weird things happen. Like in Tocil, there are a lot of spiders and there are also a lot of mushrooms. But yeah, that's one thing that I didn't really like about it. Another thing would be that because Tocil is quite a central location, so people from Claycroft, Bluebell, Roots, or even Whitefields, they always come over to party. So sometimes the noise can get out of control and it's not very pleasant if you're studying at night. So I share my flat with 11 other people. So of course kitchen may be a concern. So in the kitchen we have 2 fridges and we have 1 freezer, but there's sufficient space for everyone because there are different compartments. Whereas for cupboard, you have your cupboard in your own room, so your individual cupboard should have sufficient space for clothes. Whereas in the kitchen, there are a lot of different compartments for you to put your things. So in Tocil, the toilet is actually shared between the 12 people. So we have 4 toilets in total. 3 of them have shower cubicles, and the last one has a bathtub. So generally for myself, I wake up quite early, so I don't have to fight for toilet with anyone else. But if you wake up around 8 plus or 9 o'clock, then chances are it'll get a bit crowded. So actually for laundry, it's very convenient for Tocil. Laundry is just a 2 minutes walk. It's in a separate building, but one of the issues is that there will be no shelter. So if it's a rainy day, then you probably have to brave the rain to go there. Every wash costs £3 and every dry costs £1.60. For myself, actually I don't do laundry in Tocil. I go over to Roots to do with my friend cause we bought a bottle of detergent and we just use it to cut our costs. Actually, it's quite convenient to get to class from Tocil. So for myself, I study economics. So mainly my seminars are in Oculus, Ramphel Building, and the iHouse. So it takes about 5 minutes to go to the Oculus, 10 minutes to iHouse, and 10 minutes to Ramphel Building. For lectures, mainly it's in Butterworth Hall in Warwick Arts Centre. So that's about 5 minutes walk. So it's very, very convenient. Tips. I think generally, apart from thinking of what your priorities are, another thing you can do is to find out from your seniors for the particular course that you are doing, where are the different lectures and seminars held, and also think of what are some co-curricular activities you want to do and where the sessions are conducted. So let's say you know that you're going to the gym every single day, then it's best to choose somewhere such as Heron Bank or Lakeside because it's very close to the sports hub gym. If you are doing biomed or you are doing neuroscience, it's best to choose places like Roots or Bluebell because you can get to Gibbet Hill campus faster.
Hello, I'm Aston. I'm studying PPE, Politics, Philosophy and Economics, and I'm staying at Vick. Vick is, I think, very new. It has a modern feel to it. And I think it has one of the biggest kitchen on campus. If you appreciate a lot of space and a living room in your kitchen, Vick will be a very good choice. Also, Vick is positioned in central campus. And that means that you are no more than always 10 to 15 minutes away from where you need to be in terms of academic buildings, your classes, and your seminars. Depending on your budget, I think Vick could be very pricey. I think has one of the highest per week rental in campus. Also, Vick is a 35 weeks lease, so that means that you have to move out during Easter break and then move in after Easter break. That can be quite a hassle if you don't have anywhere else to stay during this period of time, so I would advise to consider this very carefully. I share a flat with 11 people in total. The kitchen is very big, and as I've mentioned, there is a living room, so you won't find yourself very cramped in the flat itself. Within the kitchen, there is sufficient amount of cardboard spaces, so you most likely get to fit all of your things in there. And also, you're most likely entitled to one shelf in the fridge and one shelf in the freezer, and that's, I think, more than enough. It's en suite, it's decent size, it's big enough, there's a shower, it's a standing shower, mirrors great, everything's new, no problems with the en suite, really, it's one of the best on campus. For laundry-wise, there is a laundry room on the ground floor of the accommodation. There are 2 washers, 2 dryers. Washing itself costs £3 and drying itself costs £160. 15 minutes max, and the fastest time you could get is 5 minutes at the Oculus. I think this is one of the strengths of Vick or staying in central campus in general. If you want a quieter flat, then on the pre-accommodation form indicate that you sleep early. If you don't want to, then indicate otherwise.
Hi, my name is Anne. I study biomedical science and I stay at Jack Martin. So what I like about Jack Martin is that it's very close to everything. So let's say to Roots grocery store is about like a 2-minute walk. And if you have classes in the Oculus, I stay at JM1, which is the closest block to the Oculus, so it can actually be a 30-second walk. And also to the library is also like maybe 7 minutes. Yeah, so I would say the best thing about JM is that it's close to everything. The green, I'm just kidding. But I would say the worst thing about JM is having to move out during Easter. So I think only Jack Martin and Vick have 35-week lets, so you have to move out during Easter and then move back in afterwards. You get allocated your same room, same flatmates, everything, but it's just kind of a hassle. And also, especially for international students, because you can't just move back home and then move back in, and also most of us don't have cars to transport all of our things, so I would say that's the worst thing about JM. I share a flat with 12 other girls, but right now it's only 10 of us. And also my kitchen, I thought it would be quite chaotic since there would be around 11 or 12 of us, but some of us eat at all of us eat at different times, so it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And with regards to kitchen, with regards to cupboard and fridge space, I would say that's enough for all of us, because I think there's more than 12 separate cupboards in the kitchen. Yeah. So for my toilet, I have a bathtub, but I don't really use the bathtub. And then it's pretty big for an accommodation, I would say, and I'm okay. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Okay, so for JM, there's a separate building in between JM3 and JM4, which is about a 5-minute walk for me, or 4-minute walk. And then, if I'm not wrong, there are 6 washers and 7 dryers. And then, I think it's £3 for a wash, and then £1.60 to dry. And it's quite expensive when you convert it to Singapore dollars, but there's no choice. So for me, my classes are all on the Gilbert Hill campus, which is a kind of a separate campus from everyone else. So it takes me about 10 minutes if I walk fast. I would say be honest in your application, because they really do read all your applications, and also think about what is important for your accommodation. So for me, I wanted an accommodation that was close to my campus, and also I preferred an ensuite. Yeah.
Okay, so my accommodation Whitefields is in Central Campus, so it's really near all the academic buildings, the library, restaurants, and like student union. Second thing is that you can wake up 15 minutes before your classes and you won't be late still, because everything is a 8-minute walk maximum from Whitefields. So most of your lectures would be in the arts building, the Warwick Arts Centre, which is only a 2-minute walk away from Whitefields. So I think that's a prime location and it's very worth the price for that sake. I think the number one thing if you stay in Whitefields is that you will always hear Whitefields as Shitefields because the outside doesn't really look too pleasing to other people's eyes. But in my opinion, it's such a cute cottage. So I think it depends on how you look at it, your perception. But that's the only bad thing about Whitefields, I guess, is that other people call it Shitefields. Okay, so I share a flat with 12 people. There are 7 people who stays on the ground floor and 5 of us who stay on the top floor. So Whitefields only has 1 fridge and 1 freezer, so that's quite unfortunate, but somehow we make it work between the flatmates. So for example, in our fridge we have half a rack each, and for the freezer it's like you can use as much space in the freezer as you want. But for cupboard space, we all have 1 cupboard space, which is good enough for us. And if there's not enough space for you to put all your food in your cupboard in the kitchen, you can always put it in that cupboard on the top. Yeah, so you will find some way to make it work, but it's fine. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so Whitefields is shared between 12 people. So 7 people on the ground floor and 5 people on the top floor. So 7 people share the bathroom and toilet downstairs, and 5 people share the toilet upstairs. So the bathroom and the shower and the toilet are in separate rooms. So each floor will have 2 rooms each. So 1 bathroom and 1 shower. Okay, so I do my laundry at the Roots and Whitefields shared laundry place. It's about a 2-minute walk away from Whitefields, and it's quite reasonable compared to other accommodations. It's only £4.4 for both the washing and the drying. Compared to maybe Bluebell, it's about 20-30 pence more. So it's good in a way because it's really convenient for us, and it's cheaper. Yeah. For me, it takes about a 3-minute walk because most of my seminars and my lectures are quite nearby, which are in Warwick Arts Centre, which is a maximum 2-minute walk, and Faculty of Arts building, which is a 4-minute walk. So it's not too bad for me, but it actually depends because at the start of the term, the university will allow you to choose your seminars at various locations. So if you are late to choosing your seminars, you can have like probably a 10-minute walk all the way to Ramphel. But if you're quick enough to get the nearby buildings to your accommodation, then it'll be an advantage. I think it depends for each individual. If you're the type of person like me who cannot study in their room or who loves to play sports, you'll be out most of the time, like 90% of your time, because you'll be studying in the library or like Roots Learning Grid or Faculty of Arts building. So if you're like me and don't spend so much time in your room, I guess I would say you can get a cheap non-ensuite such as Whitefields or Tocil, Claycroft. Yeah. But if you really care about ensuite and you don't want to spend so much money, I would suggest Bank because it's quite near to Central Campus and it's very near the sports hub, which is an advantage for you, and it's also the cheapest ensuite in Warwick. However, if you want an ensuite which is in Central Campus, I would say to choose Jack Martin or Arthur Vick because these 2 accommodations are extremely close to Central Campus, and it's at a reasonable price, cheaper than Bluebell. But the disadvantage is that you will only have a 35-week length. Yeah.
and finance, and I live in Roots J block, which is actually the new Root. So I think one good thing about it is that a lot of Asians actually don't choose Roots, which is actually quite odd. But I feel like you should choose Roots based on your personality. So if you feel like you come to the UK and you want to make the most of your experience, I feel like Roots is a nice place to meet a lot of international friends. That being said, I know for a lot of Singaporeans it can be a bit concerning whether it's too crazy, but as long as you fill in the preference forms correctly and according to your personality, you'll find friends which are not as crazy and like completely normal as well, and you'll be able to get along really well with them because people in Roots are very sociable and they are very friendly and easy to connect to, and usually your flatmates become your friends for a very long time. So I think that Roots is a very good place to meet your first friends at uni. Well, honestly, I like everything except the fact that the kitchen is a bit dirty. But I mean, it's only a place to cook, I would reckon. So if you don't cook much, or I mean, it should be fine. And after you cook, you can always go back to your room and eat, or eat with your friends in the room. I mean, the room's pretty big. So yeah, I don't really like that part. Other than that, the corridors are a bit small, but I think it is fine. Like, it's a standard like uni accommodation room that is pretty cheap, and it's probably like twice the size of accommodation in Singapore, so it's pretty nice. Yeah. I share it with about 17 people. So Roots is actually each flat is split into two rows of flats. So total is about 17 people. Yeah. As well for the kitchen, it's actually really big. Because there's 17 people, and each person usually gets about in terms of storage space, like one whole cupboard, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, so in each column of flats there is two toilet bowls, and then 2 showers, so it's 1 showering and 1 bathtub. Yeah, so and then you have 2 of those columns, so in total you have 4 toilets with 2 showers and 2 bathtubs, so it's pretty a lot, and you don't ever have to wait for the toilet or shower in any experience. And the cleaners always clean every single day, so it's actually very clean, and it's cleaner than most of my friends I see staying in the ensuite. My laundry, I do it outside of Roots. It's about like a 1-minute walk away. It's a common laundry area, so just walk out and you see the laundry. Price is about it's about $2.90 for eco wash. Right? If you want a super wash, meaning they wash it longer, it's about $3.10 or something. And then if you want to dry your clothes, it's about $1.60. Yeah, but you have to put in your own detergent pods. Yeah, but it's pretty clean, the laundry area here. Yeah. I mean, well, it depends on your major and like where your classes are held. So most of my classes are either at near the library or near WBS. So that's actually really easy to get to. It takes like about 5 to 10 minutes because I can get to the piazza in literally 2 minutes, and just yeah. But then if I go into class, it'll take a bit longer because WBS is a bit further away. It's probably like 5 minutes or so. So you get to classes pretty quickly and save a lot of sleeping time. Yeah. So I think the big tip is to really choose an accommodation that fits your personality type. So I feel like a lot of people who come to work, they do want to make friends, they do want to make the most out of the experience, but I feel like a lot of people, they prefer to choose like quieter flats. So don't ever put quiet in your preference form unless you actually really want it to be quiet, because once you put that you want it to be quiet, you get super quiet flatmates, and then there are a lot of people I know at uni who are not friends with their flatmates at all, and finding friends in societies are actually relatively harder. So if you can, try to choose like a sociable flat, but then again, you don't have to choose like a crazy flat. Just choose like a sociable but not crazy flat, and you'll find a lot of nice and normal people. Yeah. And another tip is that I feel like you should choose accommodation also based on convenience, because I know a lot of friends who stay pretty far away from their classes, and they do find it a bit of a hassle to get to class every day, especially if they want to go to like the bus stop so that they can get to Coventry or to Leamington Spa. So I think that for me, I chose Roots mainly because of the location and the price, and also making friends. And also, a lot of people are probably put off by the fact that Roots is going to be crazy and dirty, but other than the kitchen, it is actually very clean. And honestly, I live on the top floor at Roots, and I did put my preference from I didn't want to be too crazy. And I did meet a lot of different people here. A lot of I have like South African friends, I have Italian friends, I have Swedish friends. It's really really cool. So I feel like choose accommodations, not just because it's quiet, but because yeah.
Hi, my name is Mu Jie and I'm doing neuroscience and I'm staying at Bluebell. I would say it's definitely the floor to ceiling windows, so it doesn't feel like jail when you're mugging late at night. You can also see a variety of wild animals outside your window. So finally, I would say like the sunset is also really beautiful at times. I would also say that Bluebell is closest to my campus at Gibbet Hill, though this is not usually a concern if you're one who enjoys taking walks. We also have printing and laundry facilities on the ground floor, as well as an exclusive quiet study space at the basement level. Finally, the Roots Learning Grid and the Student Union are additional study spaces about 5 minutes away. This is not necessary, but it gives you additional options to spice things up. It's extremely far from Tesco and Cannon Park in general, so it's where you have your haircut and Chinese and Korean goods. Pro tip, Tesco Delivery Saver makes it convenient, so you can pull together your orders together with your flatmates in order to maximize the value and hit the minimum order. I share the flat with 7 other people, so 8 in total. We get 1 fridge and 1 freezer with enough shelf space for a week's groceries, and the cupboard space is plenty. So Bluebell comes with an ensuite toilet, although make sure that you maintain it although you're the only one using it, as accommodations carry out regular inspections and charge you the additional cleaning. So there are 2 sets of washing machine and dryer at the ground floor of each Bluebell building. They cost $3 and $160 for wash and dry cycle, which includes washing powder. However, you have to be strategic with dodging the crowd. A friend of mine does laundry at 4 AM, but this is an extreme case. I usually do my laundry at Roots Laundrette with a friend. It's about 5 minutes away, costs similar prices, but will require your own washing powder. It's about an 8-minute walk to the main lecture hall at Gibbet Hill, about 10-minute walk for labs, and 10 to Warwick Art Centre for movies, and about 15 minutes away from the library. And it takes 3 days and 2 nights to get to the University House. My advice for choosing accommodations would be, first choose based on the things you will not compromise, such as ensuite toilet, whether you will be moving out during Easter, distance to key locations on campus such as your department, Tesco, the Student Union. Within the flat, students seem to be sorted according to their self-description. If you indicate you sleep early and you are quieter, you may be assigned further away from the kitchen or near the ends of corridors. But this might just be my speculation. I would say no matter where you end up, it is the people you are living with that will elevate your experience, so use your time to interact with your housemates and you will learn a lot. But if things get out of hand and if you really need a change of accommodation, don't be afraid to write in to your warden and explain the situation.